Michael Ware's still with us, our US analyst. And, we've been talking about this for weeks. Michael, as you know, we were just talking about this last week. Every time it feels like we're getting towards a deal, then something happens and we're back to square one, or Iran says something completely different. So you've got this announcement by Pakistan today, which certainly gives it credibility. And now you've got this post from Donald Trump as well, saying the deal's been done. In your view, is this the real deal? We still haven't heard from Iran just yet.
Yeah, well, I don't want to get ahead of myself, or you can tell that I'm smiling, but I'm truly hoping so. The fact that President Trump has effectively, as Commander-in-Chief, ordered Central Command to drop its blockade, that tells you that the Americans believe this is done. And you're correct, we haven't yet heard from the Iranians, but I would imagine we will soon. Their Speaker of the Parliament has even warned their own people. Look, even our own state media doesn't know what's happening, so don't necessarily listen to that. So this is a wonderful success for the White House. The Israelis will be furious. If the Iranians have compromised and agreed to drop tolls, at least for now, I bet that rears its ugly head again in the future. But if they have dropped any notion of putting tolls on the Strait of Hormuz, that's a win for President Trump. But the fact that this deal, the Memorandum of Understanding, also includes the war in Lebanon, that has to stop as well, that now stops. That's a win for the Iranians and a loss for the Israelis. You can imagine they will not be very happy in Tel Aviv. Now, so let's assume that this is all real and substantive and not like the 39 other apparitions that we've had when we're told we have a deal in place. Let's say that this is true. Jono, our correspondent in DC, hinted at what now begins. You think it was difficult to get to this point? Mate, these next 60 days, that's going to be truly negotiating in the trenches. And honestly, I don't see 60 days being anywhere near long enough, principally because of these technical negotiations. Because when President Obama got the JCPOA first nuclear agreement with the Iranians, one of my friends, an ambassador, was one of the American negotiators. She says it took them 20 months just to drill down all the technical details and the give and the take. So to think a nuclear agreement can be reached in 60 days is very, very hopeful. And obviously now, with this grind hopefully ahead of us, politically, President Trump now has to confront his Obama dilemma. Whatever he secures from Iran on the nuclear deal has to be better than the deal that President Obama got. And remember, President Trump ridiculed former President Obama for handing over, pallet loads of cash. Well, the Iranians have said not only is Lebanon a red line for them, but so is the unfreezing of their assets. So this may lead to $24 billion going back to Iran. So President Trump is under this intense political pressure to be able to tell his American constituency that I did better than Obama, and therefore this must all be worth it.
Well, and given that the two sides don't trust each other at all, well, a number of nations in the area just don't trust each other at all, what happens to the military assets? What happens to the American naval ships, the aircraft carriers? Do they stay in place? I guess we're going to wait to find out what this means. But, if there's one false move, how quickly can it be, Michael, that the bombs start flying again and the Strait of Hormuz closes again? Because Iran knows the power that it has now with the Strait of Hormuz, by shutting the Strait of Hormuz, by causing global chaos.
Well, look, mate, even with the potential enormity of the signing of this memorandum of understanding. Even if we do get into the hard grind of these fast-paced 60-day negotiations, that doesn't mean that you have to remove military assets, because we'll still be just minutes away from returning to war, from returning to kinetic military activity. Because one slip of the finger somewhere, one unhappy party, one provocative act, and the Americans might have to respond, or the Israelis will get ahead of everyone and take action on their own unilaterally. So no, I don't believe that the military presence will be removed at the moment. I would keep them in place. I believe CENTCOM will choose to keep them in place.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the point being, though, it's just so easy to fall back to where we were, isn't it? I mean, war is easy, peace is hard.
Well said, mate. Well said. And look, right now, our biggest headline is that we've just achieved the status quo of the Strait of Hormuz from the day before the war started. So just getting back to this normal that we had is so significant to us now. It's hard to imagine.